Maroof Raza joins this debate that empty chair is of the PDP. Waheed Rehman of the PDP was a confirmed participant on this program. A few minutes back, we were told that he has pulled out. Clearly, they don't want to answer questions on why they are funding the separatists. PDP runs away from the debate tonight. We are told it was a direct phone call from the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mufti Mohammad Saeed, to tell the PDP representative not to appear on the Newshour tonight. That shows how defensive they are. Junaid, Matoo, spokesperson of the National Conference. In this case, we presume the NC government was also funding the separatists. This is not a one-off policy that started in the last few weeks. Brigadier Ponwar is Commandant of Counter-Terrorism and the Jungle Warfare College at Kanker. Maroof, of course, on the debate. Rashneek, Kher, founder member, Roots in Kashmir, and Vadakkan, national spokesperson of the Congress party, filling our panel tonight. Thanks very much. Like to start with you, Rashneek. Why do you think the PDP pulled out?
Why wouldn't they? They are the overground of the underground. We all know, when the Chief Minister thanks separatists, militants, Pakistan, and then one of the first things that he does is release terrorists and says that Afsafa should be removed on a day when our security personnel are killed in Kashmir and in Jammu. Yesterday, 3 security personnel were killed in Shopian, yet he did not visit their families, but he came to Delhi to tell the Prime Minister that Afsafa should be still revoked. What do you expect from such a Chief Minister? If not, if they send a man here, he would be clearly embarrassed because this government clearly deleted their own support. The BJP is a supporter in this government. They are partners in this government. If they can delete the question of their own partner in the government, what face does the PDP member, whoever would have come, most probably Firdaus would have come, to show on to the nation?
Waheed Rehman.
Yeah, Waheed had to come. What face did he have to show to this nation when they are hiding and deleting questions? Because I have myself filed an RTI with the central government maybe some 3-4 years back. Unfortunately, I don't have it right now. And those days, the figure was still 50 crores. And when I asked the question that who finally clears this, they said state CID. Now, there are vague people. Why should somebody like a Hashim Qureshi, who has basically hijacked an Indian Indian Airlines plane to Pakistan and then it had to be burned. Why should he be given security? Why should he have privileges? Why should somebody like a Mirwais Omar, who is known to be a clear supporter of Al-Umar Mujahideen, who has met Mushtaq Latram, who was released in IC 814, why should such people be given any privileges? But unfortunately, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have had a culture where subversion, separatism, and trouble creating has been rewarded. Now we are bringing terrorists back from Pakistan. 453 have come back. We cannot give citizenship to Jammu and Kashmir, these people who are West Pakistan refugees, but we are giving citizenship to wives of these terrorists who had gone
on the point, one second. Let's go to the point, because I want to understand. First of all, I think these separatists, they must be utterly shameless to actually be taking money from a government they say they are not part of, and from a country they say they don't belong to. It's utterly shameless of them. But I want to ask the National Conference representative, sir, tell me, Junaid, Matoo, why is the government funding these separatists? And why was your government also funding these separatists when you're in power? Why do you want to fund people who say we are not Indian? What's the rationale?
Arnab, as Rashneek said, that an RTI, I think a few RTIs were filed, so this information has been in the public domain. Now let us understand something very clearly, that security to a lot of, political activists in the separatist camp, or call them what you might, come with recommendations from the central government, from the intelligence agencies and what you have. Let me tell you something very clearly again. The system, Kashmir being the place that it is, the system is deeply flawed.
No,
I am the spokesperson of the main opposition party. Please, let me make a point. I am not categorized for security. If you leave it to the police, I am a person who is the lone designated spokesperson of a party of whose 10,000 activists have been killed. I am not.
No, it's not. That's not the issue. That's not the issue, Junaid. Junaid, that's not the issue.
I'm telling you, it's
that is not the issue. That's not the. No, the issue is the misplaced priorities.
Invest a minute of patience.
No, one second. Junaid, just a minute. Junaid, a minute. Junaid, 1 minute. Junaid, come to the point.
You gave Rashneek time. Please give me the same time.
No, but Junaid, I'll just add one point and then you answer the question. No, Junaid, the point is not that.
Okay.
The point is very simple. These people don't recognize your country. They have no respect for your country. They go and visit, you know, the traitors in Pakistan. They take funding from the ISI. The ISI is paying them so much money, let the ISI pay for their security. On the one hand, and it's a logical question, isn't it, Maroof, that the family of sarpanches killed by terrorists, Maroof, waits for 1 penny of compensation from the Jammu and Kashmir government.
Ask me questions, let me answer.
No, 1 second. The question is, the question, sir, 1 minute, sir, please hear this. This is the bitter truth. No, this is the bitter truth. Hundreds of teachers working in school education.
Please hear me out too.
Sir, please
hear me out as well.
Sir, understand the question. The reason we are debating this is today, how unfair is it? Worst floods in Jammu and Kashmir, 5,642 villages affected. You pay 3.6 crores for 5-star hotel accommodation of these pro-Pakistan separatists? This is our money, Maroof.
Let me answer.
This is our money.
Let me answer. Why are you asking questions of me?
I want to hear the other perspective of Maroof. Maroof.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
Add to your question.
Let me answer.
Will our guest from Kashmir, sir, please hear me out. Add to Arnab's question. I want to put in a question for you. Give me one example of another country which is willing to pay for the protection and the bills and the travel and the hotel and the leisure of those people who do not support that country. In the case of India, these people have openly said, many of them whose bills are being footed, that given a choice to vote, they'll vote for Pakistan. Given a choice to make a choice for a country, they'll go for Pakistan. Then why are they coming back? If they think they are so popular with the Kashmiri people, if they think they are so popular with the terrorists, who many of them seem to provide some kind of a communication link to and some kind of an umbrella, why are they fearing for their security? Why asking the government of India to provide them cover for security if they are hand in glove with the so-called terrorists who they feel are the people who allowed the elections to take place smoothly, who feel provide them protection, who feel that they will give them independence eventually? Then who are they hiding from? They think when they are not going to have protection, or when they are going to have protection, the Indian security forces will assassinate them. What a joke. So the big question is, A, who are they asking for protection from? Who is giving them protection? The government of India, who they completely continue to provide negative sentiments towards. And finally, give me one example of another country which will extend its decency and hospitality to the extent that we are, and allowing them to walk all over us like doormats. It is the same for this government, Arnab, sadly, as it was for the last government. There is no change in policy. And I think the policy must change in national interest.
But let's ask the previous government, and let me get Brigadier Ponwar in also, because let's ask the Congress party why they were doing this.
Can I answer again?
No, 1 second. Tom Vadakkan, please tell me how long.
What a joke.
Tom Vadakkan, how long has this been going on? How long has this been? Why were you funding these pro-Pakistan elements? Brigadier Ponwar, you can come in after that. Yes, Tom.
Arnab, I'm not an intelligence expert. I don't have access to the history of how much of intelligence.
But your government has been funding them.
No, now let me complete it. Arnab, you have given me an opportunity. Let me complete. There are funds. There's something called secret funds that are in circulation. Even the SP, DIG has discretionary powers. They have inputs. I agree with you. I agree with you that this should be audited. This has become an industry there. This has to be under the CAG. Do you inquire into Raw's audit funding? Is it audited?
Sorry.
We need to address these questions.
You are therefore justifying it. Brigadier Ponwar.
I'm not.
Watch it.
I'm
if
not.
there are secret
I'm not.
Funds, watch it. My point is, watch it. My point is, what does a person, Brigadier Ponwar, Brigadier, this is how disaffection spreads among people. A person who has lost his home, Brigadier Ponwar, in the floods gets 75,000 rupees as an initial installment. Whereas the state spends 120 crores for things like 5-star splendid hotel accommodations on these people who then say we are not Indian and who insult us by going into some so-called dialogue with the Pakistanis every few days. Brigadier Ponwar, can this be justified?
This seems to be like a social status required, that couple of gunmen have to keep moving around you when there is no threat to them at all. I mean, how many of them have got killed by terrorist strikes? How many of them have been fired upon? And if there is no threat, and if they hold no government position, they hold no such industrial position or any such sensitive post which will require such kind of security, which they feel that their life is under threat. So why should be provided? Why should the government give so much of funds that they have to be hosted in hotels?
No, maybe it's a conspiracy.
Issues where
Maroof,
they go all over the country and all over the world and give absolute talks against the government, against the institution.
Sir, there is a conspiracy here. There might be an understanding between the political parties and these separatists. These separatists must be having a silent political deal.
There is another element to it.
Yes, Maroof.
They are talking more to the separatists rather than to us.
Absolutely, Maroof.
Arnab, the obsession with providing freedom and liberal democratic alternate opinion is making a mockery of this nation state when we are actually protecting those people who are contesting the idea of India. And that is what is alarming. And this same government, in the previous government, Omar Abdullah's government, and I don't think things would have changed with this government, the PDP government, on the day of his very appointment, it goes and gives public credit to terrorist groups for allowing the election to take place when they gave no credit to the security forces for providing a stable environment for people to go and vote. And it is these people who are throwing muck on our face by attending Pakistan Day celebration.
I mean, these people...
And this government has also reached a bankruptcy of its ideas on how to deal with Pakistan, that it's allowing separatists to run free, and it says you're allowed to talk to the Pakistanis, but not before the talks. You can talk to them any other time. I mean, what kind of a mockery is this of a Pakistan policy?
Maroof, actually, Maroof, we should open up to phone calls on this subject tonight, because it is ridiculous. One argument made by Tom Vadakkan of the Congress party saying secret funds don't ask us questions. Of course we'll ask you questions. People don't pay taxes. So those, who insult our country are funded by them. 1 second. And to Junaid Matoo, give me a logical answer, but don't give me this argument of threat perception, please. My question is very simple. The government in 2014-15, primarily a long time when the National Conference was in power, spends, Junaid Matoo, 120 crores on luxury vehicles, splendid 5-star hotel bills and security for these so-called separatists. This is more than the state's budget of 100 crores for widows and destitute women under welfare schemes. What can be more horrifying? You don't do anything for widows and destitute women. You will do it for these people. I am calling them, they are nothing but intellectual so-called cover for terrorists. They are the intellectual cover for terrorists. 3 times more than the 40...
themselves, Arnab. Some of them are terrorists themselves. Why are you calling them intellectual? That is giving them a platform.
No. I said so-called pseudo-intellectual cover for terrorists.
These people are terrorists. Some point of time, most of them have been terrorists themselves.
And these people, and I think Junaid and Tom Vadakkan need to stop dodging an answer tonight, though I must say the PDP in an act of absolute cowardice has run away from the program. 3 times more than the 40 crores allocated Junaid Matoo and Tom Vadakkan for the Integrated Child Development Service and the creation of additional 1,000 Anganwadi centers. 3 times that money has been spent in making sure these pro-Pakistan voices have a luxurious life. Come on, tell us the truth. What was your hidden deal? Tell me, Tom Vadakkan, what was your hidden deal?
There's no hidden deal.
Of course there must be some hidden deal.
No, just a sec.
No, of course there must be some hidden deal.
I agree with you.
There must be
audited. There has to be a combing operation on who's getting security. There is a difference on amenities. On to the question of security, amenities should not be given.
What
should not be given. Don't do a cut and paste on me.
By saying audit it, by asking for an audit, you are trying to legitimize something which no self-respecting country should legitimize. I mean, it's an absolute mockery of our democracy that we are actually paying for people to abuse us in public.
No, let it be open, let it be transparent. If any funding is being done, let it be known to the public. What's wrong?
You didn't know that funding was being done?
Sir, these figures,
Sir, you
have not been picked up from the sky. These figures are available in the public domain. The big question is, which you are not answering, why was this funding and support provided?
Yes.
It is a given that this funding and support was being provided. But why was it being done? Was it being done under the assumption that these separatists would tell the terrorists to keep away from your political leadership? That not to harm you all, but only target the security forces?
Yes, Junaid Matoo.
Was there a deal, sir?
Yes, was there a deal? Legit question. Junaid Matoo, answer that. And by the way, what kind of horrific message does this send to our security personnel? I know you don't care much for security personnel of this country, whose colleagues are attacked day after day by these Pakistani elements. In some cases, many of them martyred by these people, that the state government, who we fund with our taxpayer money, is deploying all that money to fund a super luxury lifestyle for these Pakistani proxies on our soil. These are Pakistani proxies. These are ISI agents.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And these ISI agents, I never knew, are living off our taxpayer money, ladies and gentlemen. These politicians, or those on the program and those who run away from the program, have been doing this quietly. It doesn't matter 1 crore, 100 crore, 200 crore. It's an absolute, it's an unacceptable deviance which has been shown, and tonight Junaid Matoo has no answers but for saying we have to provide them security. Where is there a contract between the state and those who oppose it that we have to provide them security? Are they elected representatives, Brigadier Ponwar, that we have to provide them security? Is there any obligation on the state to provide them security?
How many of them have been fired upon? How many of them have been killed? How many of them are part of the constitution that you require such kind of a security? And how much of the justice they're doing to the population all around?
No, Brigadier Ponwar, in fact, I think it will not be unfair to say.
Going totally against the nation.
No, Brigadier Ponwar, it will not be wrong to say, if they are saying a threat to a traitor's life, what is Junaid Matoo and Tom Vadakkan's argument? Their argument is that a threat to a traitor's life can spiral into a national security issue. I want to ask them, let Junaid Matoo answer. Isn't there a greater danger in the idea that the government of India is protecting those who openly threaten instability in a country, support Pakistan-backed terrorism in a country on a day-to-day basis? Answer me, Junaid Matoo, why are you quiet tonight? Ran out of answers?
Run out of patience because I kept getting yelled at.
Sure.
I think I need to change my name to Maroof, Raza, or flatter you, or agree with you to be allowed.
Answer. I give you time. Please answer.
Every undue person that is protected and does not need any protection, whatever the legal argument is, whatever the argument of the security forces of this country is, whom I deeply respect and honor their sacrifices, please don't get into this presumptive childish argument that I know what you... Let me state what I think about
you. You are not sure. You're not sounding sure. It's okay.
Have you become a psychoanalyst?
No, but you're making such a long preamble. You've not even come to your point yet.
You become an acoustic scientist now?
No, you don't seem to have your argument ready. Please take your time, but please come to a logical argument.
Arnab, I'm not here to be given certificates. My argument is authentic, logical or illogical. If you want it, please get some other panelists.
Junaid Matoo, it usually happens that when people don't have an answer, then they give a long preamble, lot of conditionalities, try and make personal arguments and not answer the question. That's all.
Grade of primary school, Arnab?
Well, I am asking you directly. My question was direct. Rashneek, wasn't my question very direct? My question was, isn't there a greater danger in the argument that a government is protecting ISI agents? Will the government protect ISI agents? Isn't that
don't assume what I will say.
Rashneek,
don't assume what I will say. I'll come back to what Arnab said, but I want to ask Tom Vadakkan. For 10 years they were in government. If he wants a CAG now, what were they doing for 10 years?
Precisely.
Because half of this money is paid by government of India.
Precisely.
Which is the central government, of which Tom Vadakkan was a very important and, influential member. That's one. Now, the whole question of, why they should be given security in the first place is itself presumptive, because these people do not consider themselves to be citizens of the Indian state. So for God's sake, they are themselves terrorists. They are people who have bumped people off. Why should they be given any security?
Tom has no answer
why on this earth?
Tom has no answer either.
If you care to hear to it, Arnab, do you give me the time or no?
Don't preface, please go to the answer if you have one tonight. You've been caught on the wrong foot. You've been funding these traitors for the longest time. You have been paying their bills. You have been providing them fuel and fancy hotel accommodation.
The budget for this is more than Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan of Jammu and Kashmir State.
We have
the budget is more than Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan.
I mean, if all the corruption of the Congress government was not bad enough, now on top of it comes an aspect of moral corruption. It is moral.
It is an act of moral corruption. Existence.
It's an act of moral corruption to be funding ISI.
Don't make a right.
And even after
make a right.
2 terms.
No,
what about Atal Bihari
Vajpayee? You had 2 terms.
What about Morarji Desai? You're only concerned about Congress.
Sir, you didn't
what
do
about
anything.
Morarji Desai? What about Gujral?
Your Prime Minister met Yasin Malik.
There is a fixation.
Your Prime Minister met Yasin Malik. What worse could you do?
Your fixation with Congress is so terrible.
I am not.
Your fixation with Congress.
I am only pointing out the flaw in your own argument.
Fixation with Congress. There was a Morarji Desai. There was a Gujral.
But in those days there was no terrorism in Kashmir. Mr. Tom Vadakkan, there was no terrorism in Kashmir during Morarji Desai's time.
No,
what are you saying?
There was no terrorism.
Yeah, so at that point of time there was no secret fund.
There has been funding.
You are making specious arguments.
One second. Some of these separatists, their fathers have been killed by Pakistan. I'm not naming them, Maroof knows. Right? Till you toe the ISI line, you are fine. You go a little out of line, the ISI will kill you. So basic argument, Maroof, is we are allowing these people to take money from the ISI, do everything to kill as many Indians in India as possible, and then, in case their paymasters in ISI get angry, we are providing them cover against the ISI and the ISI-sponsored terrorists. I mean, this is absolutely bizarre.
Arnab.
It is a breach of faith. It is the greatest act of sedition.
Arnab,
yes, Maroof.
I've always maintained we are our worst enemies. Pakistan has to do only follow up consequences of our failures to continue to keep the pot boiling in Kashmir. Look at the situation across the LOC. Is any element there, whether in the northern areas or in what we call POK and they call Azad Kashmir, allowed to utter pro-India sentiments and then funded by Pakistan? And those elements in Pakistan which want a certain degree of independence, the Baluchis, for example, are gunned down by helicopter gunships. Forget army and regular troops on the ground. And Musharraf is facing trial for that. And here on our part, we are not just keeping these guys pampered, but we are also giving them trips to Delhi, giving them funding and protection to come and meet with the High Commissioner, be appraised and given updates about what is happening in the talks process, and sometimes even give them visa and travel facilities abroad to go and abuse India. I mean, this is a complete public relations disaster if there is one. And I can't understand why even this government, knowing what is the past track record of things in Kashmir,
cheating the people of Kashmir,
clamped down on this subject.
No, this government...
And in the last government's case, obviously it was very obvious when Mr. Omar Abdullah very often used to try and stand up and say that he can have a dialogue with this third element in Kashmir. But this third element was clearly, even the moderate elements in Kashmir's Hurriyat conference do not take kindly to all the good gestures and all the humanitarian effort of India, notwithstanding the military
Maroof, even if 100 such people were there, the so-called separatists, whatever you call them, I only call them traitors because they are traitors. Even if 100 of them, Junaid, were using this facility. Not ex-terrorist traitors. Even if 100 of them were using that facility, what it amounts to, Junaid, Matoo, is the fact that you are providing them on an average, you are providing them 20 to 25 days of free 5-star hotel accommodation every year. Top end. Each one of them, Junaid, by these figures, gets about 20 to 25 days of top end 5-star hotel accommodation in Delhi or wherever they want to every year. Now I contrast that with the fact, Junaid, that you provide only 75,000 rupees as an initial installment for people who have lost their own homes. Imagine, Junaid, what you have been doing. You've cheated the people of your own state. You give 75,000 rupees to a person who has lost everything, and you give non-stop 5-star accommodation to these people.
To try and answer.
Answer the question. Yes, please answer the question. Please answer the question.
I don't disagree with you. Nobody has a right to a hotel accommodation on the premise of
but you have given them
of security.
But you've given them.
Listen to me. A lot of people who are protected, uncategorized people who are protected from the separatist camps are protected at the behest of intelligence agencies.
No, 1 second. This is state government, national conference government. This is national conference government.
Not always, Mr. Matoo. Not always. The state government can also make a list of people that need protection. So it's not always the intelligence agencies that make the list. They go by the concurrence of the state government and often give priority.
I never said always.
So it works both ways, Mr.
Maroof, I didn't say always, I said a lot of times. I said a lot of times, and you know it.
Junaid, in most cases it is state CID.
Always, you're misquoting me.
Junaid, in most cases it is state CID.
I said a lot of times. Rashneek, I said a lot of times.
You just said, Mr. Matoo, you just said, Mr. Matoo, I'm not misquoting you. You just said that they go, the protection is provided on the BS of intelligence agencies. All I'm saying, it also can be provided. All I'm saying is it also can be provided at the BS of the state government. It's not just limited to intelligence agencies. So I'm not misquoting you. I'm just giving you the other dimension. And that is the dimension under question, Mr. Matoo. That is the dimension that people who oppose the Indian state have no right for protection from the Indian state. If you really feel so strongly about opposing India, then fend for yourself.
Absolutely, and it's single. This single.
Maroof,
one second.
Question that
consider the implications.
Let me answer, for God's sake. Let me answer. Let me answer. That is a moral question that conscience has to answer. I am telling you. I am agreeing with you on certain points, but you are not letting me answer. I'm telling you that nobody has a right to a hotel accommodation. Nobody has a right to call on an amenity.
Rashneek,
when you talk about the security, that is the
I'm asking you.
Have to reform.
Unfortunately,
I'm telling you very clearly that a lot of mainstream politicians do not get security who are under threat.
I don't care what security politicians get.
Junaid, we are not discussing about mainstream politicians right now. But most of these have been provided security throughout.
I understand.
Most of these people have been provided security throughout.
Even people who provided security throughout.
Have they not been by your government as well? But
the magnanimity of the state cannot be compared with the actions of rogue non-state actors. The state has an obligation.
They can't have it both ways, Junaid. But they can't have it both ways. They can't be ISI. They can't be ISI supporters and ask for Indian security.
That is a question they have to answer. That is a question.
No, but you were the government.
I am not a separatist.
Junaid, you were the government. Junaid, you are doing what Vadakkan was doing a little while ago. You were the government then. You could have decided they don't need the security because Arnab did not name these people. I will say Omar Farooq's father got killed and Sajjad and Bilal Lone's father got killed by ISI. So yet they are supporting Pakistan. So why should we give them security? Why on this earth should we give security to people who cannot fend for themselves when their father has been killed by Pakistan?
And on top of it, what did these people do?
It
doesn't have to be. Our magnanimity has led us to a position where we are, our magnanimity has brought us to a point where we have mudslinging on us by Pakistan every day. Our magnanimity has brought, our Catholicity is not being appreciated by Pakistan. They see us like people who are afraid. No, because they do not understand this language. It is being nice to butchers.
That is up to them. That is up to them.
No, sir, but we are the state. The state has to decide. Junaid, the state has to decide.
No, you can't let go.
But we don't have to be magnanimous to people who kill.
First of all, let the Home Minister of India decide then. Let the Home Minister of India decide then.
Nobody is saying just you have to decide, but the government of that time and the government in this time has to decide whether they want to give security to people who butcher our people day in and day out.
I'm not saying that it is an idealistically perfect system. Please listen to me.
In fact,
I'm telling you it is not an idealistically perfect system. A lot of people who deserve protection are not protected.
The sarpanches were left to fend for themselves. Junaid, with due respects to you, the sarpanches were left to fend for themselves till 12 of them were killed. You agree or you disagree?
Absolutely.
We asked the central government for allocation for their security. It was disallowed. Let the Congress spokesperson answer that. We need
answer, Mr. Vadakkan, please. Mr. Vadakkan is here. Arnab, let him answer. Arnab, let him answer.
Let the Congress spokesperson. 5 minutes remaining. Tom Vadakkan. He's thrown the ball back into your court. Were you actively encouraging it? 1 second. Was the Manmohan Singh Sonia Gandhi government, was it a conspiracy of the Manmohan Singh and government, you know, and Sonia Gandhi Congress supported Manmohan Singh government? Was it your conspiracy to fund these traitors? Because you can't speak
Arnab,
it. And by the way, 1 second.
I know the Constitution. We are a federal structure.
Don't tell me the Constitution.
We get inputs from the state. What the state says and the state's requirement is met with. We are part of the state, but we have to take instruction, intelligence inputs from the zero level, ground zero.
You didn't know?
If there's wrong inputs, if there's wrong inputs,
they are passing the buck to the intelligence agency as if there is no role of the
We are not responsible for the failures at the ground zero level.
This is really unfair. You are targeting the intelligence agencies for a political decision. It is really unfair. It's shameful, utterly shameful for Congress to say this, really. Targeting intelligence agencies. There is a political will which you should have shown, and you did not show that political will. Unfortunately, you did not show the political will for 50 long years till the time the state came to this position where it is today. Unfortunately, you did not, sir. You did not.
You don't understand this.
I do understand, sir. I am a Kashmiri who understands it more than me.
But you are not part of the larger India.
I am not part of the larger India.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Right now.
What do you mean by that?
Right now.
1 second. You take that back, Tom Vadakkan. What did you just say?
I have not met terrorists like your Prime
What did you mean by that, Tom Vadakkan? What did you mean by that?
I'll tell you.
Apologize right now.
He's from Kashmir.
Apologize right now.
I am from India.
So
I belong to this
Kashmir not a
country.
part of India.
Take it back.
Kashmir not a part of India.
Why should I tell? I said
Kashmir not a part of
he
India.
says he's from Kashmir.
Take it back, Mr. Tom Vadakkan.
Tell him to say
shame on you. I am an Indian. I am an Indian.
Then
I am emphatically an Indian. And Kashmir is a part of India. Kashmir is a part of India. Just
take it back
for what you said.
I am from Kerala.
Just apologize for what you said. I did not say you are not an Indian.
I did not say.
You take it back, Tom Vadakkan.
Why should I
ask him to apologize?
Apologize, Tom Vadakkan.
I don't
think so. That's a very insensitive comment.
I don't have to apologize.
Very insensitive comment.
Has a Congress fixation.
I have no Congress fixation. I have no Congress fixation.
That's all to it.
I have no Congress fixation.
Nothing beyond Congress.
I have no Congress fixation. I don't work for BJP.
I don't know who you work for, but I can tell you this much.
Unlike you, I don't work for a political party. I don't have to extra political
part of India.
Okay?
You realize that?
Don't attribute motives to me, sir.
I don't care what you belong to.
I also don't care who you are. I also don't care who you are. But I can tell you very clearly that you guys...
No, 1 second, gentlemen. No, 1 second, Tom Vadakkan. Tom Vadakkan, the choice of not apologizing is yours. But I think you have no business saying to anyone tonight, you're not part of the larger India or greater India. That was an incorrect comment. I condemn the comment. 1 second.
I said I'm an Indian.
No, you said
proud of it.
You ought to apologize. You may not, but you ought. Anyway, to Brigadier Ponwar.
I'm an Indian.
To Brigadier Ponwar, we all are. To Brigadier Ponwar, let's go back to the issue. What is the impact when a person protecting the state, the member of the armed forces, sees the state guarding those with ISI links when ISI agents... what is the impact on the morale of our armed forces, sir?
The morale on the armed forces, that there are so much security-related equipment which they require, like it was being mentioned, that bulletproof jackets and so many other things which is required for the security of the nation, and instead there are deficiencies here, and in that the money is being provided to people who are anti-nationals, who have been talking against the nation all over the world, and they are all doing all things which is going against bringing peace in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And here we have the entire Indian Army and security forces trying to bring back normalcy, and these people right in the heart of the state are doing anti-national activities. This has to be looked into, and why, if there is no threat to them, no firing has taken place on them, nobody has died, why should security of a high nature be provided to them?
The question goes out, last question tonight. Maroof wants to say something. Maroof, running short of time. 30 seconds,
well,
please.
Of course, some of them have died. What is this guy talking about?
It's not this guy. His name is Brigadier Ponwar. 1 second, sir. Junaid Matoo. His name is Brigadier Ponwar. 1 second. Show some respect, sir. His name is Brigadier retired BK Ponwar. Single-handedly, this man has fought Naxals in the heart, of this country. He's commandant of the Counter-Terrorism and Jungle Warfare College. Do not in Kanker. He's a man who has served the country. Don't call him this guy.
When did I disrespect him? Why? How is this guy disrespectful?
The tone was disrespectful, sir.
I said this man. I didn't say this guy.
Well, this man itself.
Well, I mean, you're clearly groomed and you're more civil than me, which is apparent from the way you
okay, here's a question to you, Junaid Matoo. I disagree with the way you approached it, but I want to ask you. I want to ask you and Tom Vadakkan. Do both of you?
I would be very glad if you had the same standards of civility for yourself.
Do both of you agree?
Sheikh Aziz has died.
Do both of you, Junaid Matoo and Tom Vadakkan, agree that the money that is being paid to the separatists should be taken back? Do you believe? Do both of you believe, gentlemen? Limited time. Do both of you believe?
Abdul Ghani Lone was killed, Mirwais Farooq was killed, Sheikh Aziz was killed,
by whom?
Qureshi was attacked.
Who killed?
And Mirwais' uncle was killed. So
who killed them? Who killed them?
That's not my question. He said something which is factually incorrect.
Who killed them?
Something which was factually incorrect.
Who killed them?
Please at least first admit that he was incorrect.
Who killed them?
First admit
that he was incorrect. Did Pakistan back ISI funding terrorists kill them or not? Maroof.
That is a separate question. That is a separate question.
Of course, that is the critical question. If after that you want to continue to be on the payrolls of Pakistan, then you have to be prepared for the consequences. Once again, Maroof.
How many of them have been killed? How many of them have been fired at? I'm telling you how many of them were killed and how many of them were fired at.
Okay, I'm wrapping this up. I'm wrapping this up with one question. I'm wrapping this up with one question. Junaid, 1 second. Wrapping this up with one question. 1 second, Maroof. Do both of you agree, at least the Congress and the NC, that any form of funding should now stop immediately? I just want an on-record comment. Let's keep it brief. Are you for completely stopping, Tom, completely stopping every rupee which is being used to fund these people in any way? Are you not? Yes or no?
I don't know what fund means. When it comes to security, no, I can't take that call. Maybe Arnab Goswami can, because I can't take the call about protecting somebody's life, whatever his views are.
You also
amenities, luxuries, amenities and luxuries. Yes, I agree. There is no basis of substantiation for that, no legality for that. But as far as the securing the life of somebody is concerned, I don't have it in me to take a call on that. Maybe you do. That is something that.
Well, you know something, I don't understand why you need to be secure against people who you support all the time, which is the Pakistan-funded terrorists, the greatest irony of our times. Tom Vadakkan.
Why don't you sleep over that tonight?
Tom Vadakkan.
Arnab, I do care that money should not be spent the way it is. But I also do care for peace in Kashmir, for the people of Kashmir.
There you are.
For the peace in Kashmir.
There you are, backtrack.
And Kashmir peace is important for all of us. We love Kashmir. It's part of us.
What? I don't think that holds. Maroof, I'm closing the debate. 10 seconds to you. You wanted a last word? Yes, please. Quickly, Maroof.
Arnab, just one quick point. Brigadier Ponwar, who's here, has a lot of experience in counterinsurgency operations across the country. I've served with him myself, and I would like him to confirm that if there is any other part of the country where anti-national elements are funded and protected by the government of India.
No way.
If there is,
Brigadier
then
Ponwar.
Kashmir is certainly not unique. But I'm convinced that is not the case.
Keep
and
it short,
the Kashmiri separatists who get support are obviously a very pampered lot, and the government of India and the government of J&K must alter this policy, period.
Brigadier Ponwar said nowhere, and I have no reason not to believe him.
Absolutely.
No way security provided to anti-national elements across the nation.
Only in Jammu and Kashmir.
Except in Jammu and Kashmir, as it is being done.
Only in Jammu and Kashmir. Only in Jammu and Kashmir, and it needs to be taken back.
Are we going to provide security to Naxal?
And it needs to be taken back.
Ponwar also said that no separatist.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Not wrong.
Yes.
You know, Junaid Matoo. You know, Junaid, we don't pay our taxes to fund the Pakistani agents. Take a poll on this. And we demand that this government stop funding Pakistani agents using our money once and for all. Thank you for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.
Said something factually incorrect?
Yes. Thank you.